Hey everybody, making yet another video here. I wanted to highlight a very weird book in my collection of poetry. This one's called The Art of the Possible, and it has an introduction by the person who always is the general editor for those, best American poetry things. And it's Kenneth Koch's comic things, and these are pretty rad. These are this is a book I got kind of like cheap, I think, at Powell's Books in Chicago back when I lived there, and it's a book that really is on the level of like just people who don't make any comics at all. And it's got this kind of introduction, and then after it, the comics themselves begin. They just abruptly begin. And every comic is kind of, it's more of just kind of like an arrangement of the text in a sort of comics-esque format. Some of them are really funny. You've got, these Westminster Cathedral Onion. I'm kind of skipping some things. They really kind of give you the vibe that they're like things you would put in the side of your diary when you were done with things to actually say, and you kind of just wanted to like fill that space in a way that kind of put a bit of your personality there, and maybe just kind of gave you a laugh. These were some of the comics that were printed in the introduction. Really bizarre book, but it really is similar to some stuff that I've done in just books that have had, like I've gotten books that just have had just books of graph paper, and just needed to fill graph paper by kind of dividing it into grids, and then I've been like, well, what do I fill it with? And then you get stuff like this. I'm kind of selling it short. Some of these are really funny, and they seem kind of like a way of using formats that look like comics to jolt yourself into coming up with lines of poetry. Like in this instance where we see, then he goes forth tearing up trees. You can imagine that this space was divided up at first, and then, tearing up trees was written first, and then he goes forth, or maybe then he goes forth, and this line gave just the right kind of feeling of what the caesura should be in the line, to suggest that the better second half of the line should be tearing up trees. Everyone can draw lips like that. It's great. This is that's Flags of Different Nations comics. A little bit of this turns into a GeoGuessr video. Some of these are more wordy than others. They kind of all resemble bingo boards, many of them. And it's been a while since I've really the beautiful thighs reveal the identity of the masked wife. I think this is another example of where like drawing that kind of thigh shape probably suggests to you that maybe there's like a giant word here, and then there's something kind of behind it, like that's hidden like in the back of your knee, So this is a suggestion to everybody who writes poems. Maybe try out some forms that are kind of like this. Maybe you can get this book if you'd like. It shouldn't be that expensive. I think it's the Soft Skull Press. It's got a kind of a nice package. It kind of looks like an actual, like a comics textbook or something. But basically, you can use these kinds of experiments, maybe almost identical looking experiments, to come up with your next poem or your next comic. I wonder what time period these span. I should know that, but they have a wonderful kind of they kind of index also like they show you some of the things that Kenneth Koch is most interested in kind of cataloging, like the writers he is and the people he's most interested in. So go forth and perform experiments like these. Perhaps if you come up with a cool poem in a form like this, what you could do is then take it, remove it from that form, and then just kind of lineate it more, lineate it more normally, and then I think I've liked that one for a while. I mean, you know, if that doesn't get you going, I don't know what else will. Now you could liberate with the text you write from the kind of drawings you make, and come up with a you know, a cool poem, you know, and you know, be inspired by this stuff from Kenneth Koch. Yeah, so just wanted to show you all this. Have a good day.